Hello, and welcome in to today's reading. So you can probably guess by the title what this reading is going to be about. It's more for those of you who might be going through blocks, or maybe there's something that you need to reevaluate or reconsider. So we have pile number 1 with the kiwi stone. The rainbow moonstone. Number 2 with lapis lazuli. And pile number 3 with the rainbow moonstone. So, as usual, the timestamps will be down below. But before I start, I like to cleanse the area, kind of cleanse your space, cleanse your energy, aura, whatever. So I'm going to use the selenite wand. Gonna get some around you as well. And then we're gonna light some of the sage, and then cleanse the room a little bit more. Just in case some of you guys don't know, selenite and also kyanite on a side note is good for cleansing out negative energy. And a good thing about selenite and blue kyanite is that they don't absorb the negative energy, so they're kind of like a self-cleansing stone. I kind of think of them as like the soap of the crystal world. Alright, so as I said before, timestamps should be down below. I'll be starting pile number 1 in just a few moments. Alright, pile number 1. We're going to start off with the Wildwood Tarot. Alright, so we have King of Arrows, the Kingfisher in reverse. Two of Stones, Challenge. And Four of Arrows, Rest in reverse. So the overall feeling I'm getting for this reading is it feels like there's something that you're avoiding that you need to face, and it feels like the more you avoid this, whatever this is, the more restless you become, and the more energy is actually taken away from you. If you just deal with it head on, then it's going to be a lot easier for you in the long run. So we have Ace of Cups in reverse. Nope, that's upright. Ace of Cups upright. And Five of Spades in reverse. So, sorry, Five of Swords in reverse. So I kind of use this deck kind of as a clarifier. The way I read these cards is that these cards are a little bit more direct and sometimes more blunt than my Wildwood Tarot deck. So what I'm getting from this, from Five of Swords, you probably can't read that, but it says reconciliation, making amends, and past resentments. So maybe some of you are kind of avoiding something from the past because you don't want to deal with it, or maybe there's something or someone that you need to reconcile with. We have Ace of Cups, so we have love, relationships, compassion, creativity. So I feel like this could be, for some of you, it could be dealing with a person that you need to make past amends with, or you need to reconcile with. Again, this is a general reading, so this could be about someone or something. But the general sense I'm getting is that there's something that you're avoiding that you need to face. So we have forgiveness is a gift I give to myself. When I forgive others, I free myself from burdens of the past. So I'm not one of those people that just says you need to forgive anyone, forgive everyone, forgive anyone. That is up to you to forgive, in my belief. Or at least for me, at least for me, the forgiveness has to be just as important as the apology, or the apology is just as important as the forgiveness. I don't feel like if you don't forgive someone, then you're gonna be stuck in this route, whatever. But do consider if forgiving this person is the right thing to do. It's gonna be about forgiving yourself as well. Essentially, it's about letting go of the past, however you do it. Maybe for you, you don't have to forgive the person in person or go back to that thing or whatever, but you could also do it in your heart or just forget and let go. I allow breakdowns to become breakthroughs, so this goes back to facing something instead of avoiding it altogether. Maybe what you're facing or what you have to face, maybe there might be some struggles or maybe some kind of tower moment or something like that, but I feel like that it is necessary for you to move on. And I feel like some of you are trying to avoid that tower moment. A lot of you, or not all of you may have that tower moment, but I just feel like this is pointing to something like that. And for some of you, it may not be as dramatic or that drastic, and it could just be something that you're avoiding just out of fear. And then we have, I'm embracing a paradigm shift. So this is a continuation of this card here. So basically, just allowing yourself to shift into this new mindset, to shift into this new reality, instead of going on this cycle and repeating whatever it is you're on. So we have affirmation and intuition. So intuition, basically, do what you feel is right. I feel like that's pretty straightforward. If you feel like deep down that whatever you're doing isn't working, then maybe reconsider this. And then with positive affirmation, I also feel like this is pretty much straightforward as well. Positive affirmations, at least for me, help in that reality shifting, especially with I am affirmations. There is a channel that I really like. Her name is Trees Pruitt. I can link her down below. And she also has a channel, Rich Girl ASMR, I believe. I have to double check that. But she does meditations and I am affirmations that really help, especially with shifting realities. And she also talks about quantum shifting as well. So definitely give her, check her out, especially if you're stuck in this loop or in this past and you want to move on, deep down you want to move on. Definitely check her out, or at least look into quantum shifting or reality shifting. And it's not as, I guess, woo-woo as it sounds. It's more about changing your mindset and eventually changing your reality based on your mindset. Alright, so that was pile number 1. Feel free to check out my links down below for my Instagram for personal readings, Instagram for other readings that I do, and Etsy for personal readings. I'm going to move on to pile number 2. Alright, before we start pile number 2, I'm just going to cleanse the area real quick with this selenite. Okay. we have pile number 2. Again with the blue lapis lazuli. So I'm going to start off with the Wildwood Tarot and the cat card. These are just regular plain cards, but I use these kind of as clarifications. I said this before in the first pile, but just in case you didn't watch that, these cards are kind of more blunt and more straightforward than my Wildwood Tarot, so that's why I like using them as clarifications. Alright, so we have 2 of Vessels, Attraction in reverse. Six of Vessels, Reunion. And 7, the Archer. And with these 2, we have 9 of Pentacles in reverse and 10 of Wands. Okay, so I feel like with 2 of Vessels, Attraction, there's something you need to let go of. I feel like deep down, you know that this isn't good for you. It could be a relationship, it could be a job. Again, this is general reading, so it could be many things, but overall it feels like deep down you know that you should leave this, but for some reason you're still holding on to this. It's something that you need to let go of. And we have 6 of Vessels, Reunion. So I feel like this is something that you need to, this is something that you need to go back to. Maybe something in the past that you've kind of left behind, and your guides or your patients or whatever you believe in, they kind of want you to revisit this. And by revisiting this, I feel like this is something that can make you move forward in your life or move forward in your progress. So whatever this is holding you back that you need to let go of. This is something that you need to go back to. Maybe it's something you've been reconsidering. And by going back to this can help you move forward. So with 9 of Pentacles and 10 of Wands, they both talk about overinvestment in work, hard work, extra responsibility. So I feel like this has to do with a job for most of you. Maybe you're holding on to this job, maybe because you think it pays well or that it pays better than other jobs, but at the same time you're kind of overworking at this job, or maybe it doesn't pay enough and you're taking on more hours because of that. This is saying to let go of that and find something else, or again find something that you've been considering in the past, or something that you've done in the past. And this is more so things that you've been thinking about. So whatever pops in your mind or whatever you're thinking of, that's probably the thing. It could have been a past hobby or past project or something you loved doing in the past. So we have pleasure. This is more saying that connect to something that gives you pleasure, connect to something that makes you feel joy, that makes you happy. We have abundance, be still, and sound healing. So this is taking time to meditate, to really think about what it is that you want. I feel like some of you already have this idea of what it is, but this is just saying to take the time to pause and meditate, or just, contemplate what you're doing with this. And abundance planning. So this is about really planning out what you want. So sometimes I would say to at least establish something before you move on. But I also had a friend who recently quit her job, and I feel like it's going to work out pretty well for her in the future. So some of you may just get up and quit your job, or get up and quit whatever it is, and not really have a plan. But I still would recommend having at least something in mind, and not just quitting and just doing whatever, or just sitting around. And this isn't saying that as soon as you quit you have to find something, but it is saying that at least have something in mind, because it is still okay to just take a rest for a while and contemplate on what it is that you want to do. Yeah, and also have your action steps in mind as well. My body is vibrant and beautiful. This is knowing that you have the worth, you have the potential to do this. So don't feel like you're stuck in this position because you feel like that's all you're worth. This is saying that you do have the potential to move on. You just have to take that initiative and do it. Yeah, we have here, I honor all my needs, my fears, and my desires. So again, your fears might be holding you back, but really just not hold on to your fears. What am I trying to say? Really just take notice of your fears, recognize it, and try to turn it around, or at least use it as some kind of motivator. This again, you can meditate on with Be Still and Sound Healing. I have the power to transmute anger and pain into progress and change. So again, considering your fears or any kind of negative feelings you might have about moving on, or feeling you have to stay in this position, this is to take that negative energy, kind of harness it, and use that to motivate yourself. This is a little bit similar to pile number 1, I feel like, so feel free to check that one out, because these two both kind of deal with kind of being stuck in the past in some way and not moving on because of something that you're holding on to. So that was pile number 2. And I'll move on to pile number 3, but feel free to check out my links down below for my Etsy for personal readings and my Instagram for other readings that I do off this channel. Alright, pile number 3. With the kiwi stone. Okay, start off with Bible Tarot and these old playing cards. So these old playing cards that I have, these are kind of clarifications, a little bit more straightforward, and sometimes more blunt than my Bible Tarot, so that's why I like to use them. Okay, so I'm start off with King of Bows, Adder, in reverse, Ten of Arrows, Instruction, in reverse, and Three of Stones, Creativity, in reverse. And then for these cards, we have King of Swords and Knight of Wands in reverse. Okay, so overall, I feel like this is about you having to do your own thing and not following what others are doing. with King of Bows, I usually see this, at least when it's upright, I usually see this as some kind of, it's like you're the snake up here and everyone else are the snakes down here. Of course, not in a negative way. I actually like snakes, but as I was saying before, when it's read upright, I sometimes see this as you taking advice from others, or you're listening to what others are saying. But when it's in reverse, this is something that you need to really really do things on your own. Maybe some of these people did have good advice, but you need to stop relying on them and stop being dependent on them for that advice. I also feel like for some of them, they may not have the best advice too, so that's even more reason to do things on your own. 10 of Arrows. In reverse, this is a kind of extension of the last card. So just really, when it's upright, this is the mentor teaching the students, and the mentor is kind of guiding the student, or at least the mentor is kind of like not molding the student, but they're kind of, it's more like the mentor is doing more of the work than the student is. But in reverse, this is saying that you have to do things your own. I know I'm saying that a lot, but that's really the main message here. And just really kind of like take your own action, do your own thing, take initiative on your own, and not rely on others to tell you what to do. Thursday's creativity. So I feel like this one goes with this card here. It's okay to ask for help with an open heart. It's okay to ask for help. Reach out with an open heart makes me stronger. So just because it says that you should do things your own, take your own initiative, it doesn't mean you have to avoid people altogether or avoid help altogether. It is still okay to ask for help. I feel like for some of you, there might be someone who can actually take you away from the situation, or at least help you with whatever struggles you're dealing with. So still keep an open mind. Don't block out people altogether. Just don't say, screw everyone, I'm just gonna do this all on my own. There is still, be a little bit flexible. Then we have Knight of Wands in reverse, which says on edge, defensive, hesitant, paranoia. So again, I feel like this goes with for ask for help. You don't have to do a complete 180 and assume that everyone else is going to give you bad advice or the wrong advice. You would be defensive when people offer you help. And we have King of Swords, which points to mental clarity, intellectual power, authority, and truth. So this again is about taking initiative in your own life, taking charge of your own life. I guess basically just taking charge of yourself. It's also saying that deep down you know what's right for you. My authenticity eliminates the truth in others. So by doing your own thing, by taking charge of your own life, you might inspire others to do the same, or at least people might have a little bit more respect for you. And not saying that people don't respect you now, but basically that you might be more inspiring to people, or more, at least give people a little bit more motivation, even if it's not outright obvious. Even if people don't go up to you and say, you inspire me to do this, it can be a little bit inspiring just to see someone else do something that is authentic to themselves. This card also reminds me of Joe Tsukawa from Just Getting News. I don't know how many people watch Just Getting News, but Joe and some others in Just Getting News as well, they're very authentic. They are true to themselves. They don't beat around the bush when they're saying what they're saying, especially Joe. And because of their authenticity and how honest they are with themselves, I find them a lot more enjoyable that way. And a lot of them, they don't care if they come off as weird or offensive, and not saying that they're trying to be edgy or anything like that, but they just say their truth. don't need to have all the answers. My heart knows the way. And on a random side note for Tuscany News, I think they've been like canceled a few times in the past, but at least loyal fan bases know their true intentions, because it's one thing to, take something out of context and, just go based on that. But because they're true themselves and they don't have to warp themselves to fit, to please other people, the people who kind of vibe with them know what they're about. Anyways, going back to this card, I don't need to have all the answers, my heart knows the way. So, even if you don't have things figured out, it's still better to just take that first step and just fall on your face and figure things out on the way than it is to hold on to other people and them tell you what to do. I allow myself to rest whenever I need to. Rest is wildly productive. So just because you have this newfound courage or knowledge or whatever it is for you to move forward on your path and for you to do things alone, remember to take time for yourself as well. And we have the movement card. So this is actually the card that also reminded me of Joe and Tuscany News along with this card. So movement, it could also go with resting as well, taking breaks once in a while, but this is basically just kind of doing things in your own way, moving at your own pace. Alright, so that was pile number 3 and the end of the reading. I have my IC down below for personal readings and my Instagram for other readings that I do off this channel. And I'll see you hopefully next week. Maybe. Okay.